My friend Steven asked me to come by. He's the king of funky, and I love everything about his shop. We collaborated on his Dodge Roadster a few years ago, and I'm glad to see he's still plugging away on it.
The nice thing, too, is just keep on adding to it. You can always add little things here, just little details.
No, it looks perfect. That's the thing, it is aged to perfection.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Steven is a picture car coordinator, and he's at the top of his game in that as well. Let's just say he's worked on some incredible movies with all the right stuff. You know, the cars are always impeccable.
Yeah, this film project I have, it's a period piece, but it's a weird period piece. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I have an idea. I'll show you kind of what we're looking for. And I like to use my friends, guys like you that are into what I'm into.
Sure,
and get
aesthetic, yeah. Steven's projects are always this way, hidden in a veil of mystery. You're working with bits and pieces of information, but later when the movie comes out, you say, oh, wow, okay, I see the big picture now. This is how it fits in. Behind door number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. You got a lot of doors here, sir. Oh, wow.
Can't have enough doors.
Look at this thing. Man, this is a real pile of stuff. What is this thing?
It's actually a 1927 Dodge.
Dodge, right, okay, cool. Walking up on this thing at first, I'm like, whoa, this is like straight out of like a museum or something. Where did they find this? It looks like the real deal. Did you like outfit this? Or?
Well, during World War II, during gas rationing, everybody turned their old cars into a pickup truck to get around the rationing. I added everything to it, of course, you know, with all the stuff I collect.
Right, right.
Almost like it was a magnet to it. Everything wanted to get on this thing.
Well, it looks authentic to me. This is a perfect example of what Steven does. The director or whoever says, we need something that looks exactly like it would have been there. It's gotta be period correct. It's gotta look like a real thing, not some movie prop.
I call it the prospector.
Yes. This is what I like about Steven's world. It's not really about making the coolest car, the meanest lead sled. There's always a unique purpose about everything.
Traveling salesman suitcase back here, with shoe shiner, shine shoes, boat with his fishing gear here.
Yeah, do a little fishing, a little crabbing.
Commercial fishing. No job is too big, no job too little for this guy.
I understand now.
Here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
Razor.
Little mirror in there somewhere too. For the prospector on the go that needs to keep a clean face. I could relate to this guy, you know, the owner of the car, right? He's traveling around, he's got some skills, kind of homeless, but he's got all his gear. Literally, they would have thrown everything on their car, including the kitchen sink. So I think Steven nailed it on the prospector. Oh, what the heck is this thing?
That is his lucky rabbit's foot.
Ooh, I don't even know what creature that came off.
Just happened to come off an otter instead. This is not exactly, you know, what we're going for, but the style, you know, the period of the vehicle, and not so much of this on here, but
working man's vehicle.
Exactly.
I gotcha. These are the loose parameters I thrive on, you know? He's telling me it looks sort of like this, it feels kind of like this, but different. You know, I love the freedom it offers and the direction, so I'm in 100%. The conversation with Steven was pretty interesting. You know, he's talking about antiques, old stuff. I'm thinking, I live on a ranch built in 1940. This place is surrounded, it's full of that stuff. Look at this truck, for instance. This is a time capsule. This has never changed. It's been in service for who knows how many decades. You see, it's got the curved windshield, so that puts it around the mid-50s, I believe. So therein lies the catch. It's definitely too new. The treasure trove does not end here. I got another project that's a truck, and it's much earlier. Might not look like much sitting here, but this is a bona fide Model A Ford. Definitely the right era. This is one of those projects that's been in the queue for years, you know? I got it, I had some ideas, do some work, put it away. It's happened multiple times. I modified it, made the fenders a little wider. Someone had shortened up the bed on it quite a bit. It's kind of an interesting look. It's a real shorty. I just changed my mind about it a lot. That's why the body and bed were sitting in here with the fenders. But this project seems like this might be a pretty good fit for it. One of the challenges with this project and the stagnation of it is it's mixed up of all years and handmade parts. She's a big one. Cab is a 28, 29. The bed, I don't know what year it's from. The front fenders are 1931. The rear fenders, I think, are 31, but they're car fenders, so it's been a bit of a challenge to mate all this together. Back in the day, if you're going through the junkyard, this probably could be the same thing you'd run up against. That looks like a depression era truck, for sure. Steven's car was like a 1920-something, 30-something Dodge. This is a 29 Ford. They'd be friends back in the day. If it was my great-great-grandfather or whatever, right? He was a welder and he was in the cars and he's like, oh man, I found this clapped out old 29 Ford. We're not talking about bankers or lawyers. We're talking about the average Joe who's doing whatever it takes to keep his car on the road. And that's the thing, this looks super loose, but that's only half of the puzzle. I got the chassis, that was in storage too, and that's in a different course of development. It is a 29 Model A chassis. Basically been in and out of storage for 8-10 years. I work on it whenever I have a chance or I'm inspired. Pretty cool setup. It's been fully boxed, fully reinforced. Obviously got a V8 in it, brand new automatic trans, and the rear axle's from a Ford pickup. The whole front suspension is from Speedway. It's the drop tube axle with disc brakes, and then 16-inch rims. I was digging these with the old school Firestone tires. And I haven't started the engine yet. You know, this is a good used engine, as I'm told, ran well when parked. All we gotta do is put a bunch of parts together and see if it's actually gonna go. The old does it run quandary. One of the main requirements Steven had is it's gotta run. That way they can move it around the set, different shots, etc. If I can make it work, then it'll fit the bill. Now, a lot of those consummate professionals will say, nothing hits the floor, nothing hits the table. Every piece you come off gets bagged and tagged. This is not the case with this project. One of the requirements of this build is it's gotta look old, so you're not gonna see any of this mechanical stuff. So Ford, Chevy, VW, it doesn't matter what's in there. The old no oil trick. There's no oil at all in there. That's one of the things that a crew has in its benefits is you could always kind of blame it on somebody else, but it's all me here, and I never really pay attention to where I left off, so you're gonna have to check out multiple things. This is a custom blend of startup oil. I don't look stressed, do I? Oil pressure, check. Now for the real test. I love those swirly straws. I gotta get some more of them for my high C. As they say, it's tea time. Prepare for ignition. I heard a little something. That was close. That's a fire. That'll cook your seals. What we have here is a failure to communicate. It's a good thing the inspectors aren't here because I could see the alarm bells going off in a big way, but I know that's just a simple backfire. I'm always a little surprised when something actually works. Sweet Sabella success. I think Project Dust Bowl is go. That's the green light I needed to see. Hollywood, here we come. This is already looking pretty Depression era. We gotta get rid of all that chrome. It's a little too exciting. Nobody is gonna be depressed looking at that, so I wanna build a full hood. This is the usual full custom start, a laundry list of parts from all over the map. I got a new radiator, a reproduction grill shell, a crusty old hood. Sounds like the recipe for success. All right, let's see how it fits now. Oh, I like it. Pretty cool because it has a pretty sharp down turn in the hood line. Something I wasn't expecting, considering it's all stock, but hey, what do I know? Working my way front to back, this hood rig sets off a good start. It's cool, but not too custom beyond its years. You can see the hood here is overlapping the body, and then it's missing a piece in here. So I'm gonna have to remedy that. First step in this hood rejuvenation process is to add some support. We gotta lock it in place to keep everything in line. So I hemmed over another piece of this steel so it got double thick, and that'll fix this mismatch in the hood alignment. That's pretty much the look. The thing I'm having a hard time with is the value, you know, the rust versus the new metal. I'm just gonna kind of haze it out a little bit. Working with new metal on an old project, it's gonna be a contrast of color, so we're gonna have to come up with a creative solution to blend this all together. So the front end's fine, I'll match the other side to that. That looks good. The black paint puts us in the ballpark, but I'm gonna have to see what happens later to figure out how to congeal all these different body panels. Next piece of the puzzle is this truck bed. You can see why I widened the fenders on the rear of the bed. They fit those tires so good. It's got a good look. I've never seen it with a hood on it. I mean, it's like an airplane fuselage. So I don't know what's happening here, but it looks right. This particular build has its own parameters, but I'm up for the challenge. This is the Depression era, so materials are pretty scarce. You know, you wouldn't have any of the stuff I usually use, like with the tube bender, a modern tubing, anything like that. So I went over to my friend's house and picked up a bunch of rusty material from out of the back. Got some square tube, found some rebar, piece of angle iron, standard issue stuff you would have seen back in the day. Even though this rack has to be functional, for me it's all about style. It's got to have some character that adds to the vehicle. Kind of like some wrought iron work, but it's a roof rack. You know, if you went and put like a big utility roof rack, right? Like I'm thinking like a welding truck, right? Front to back. Like it wouldn't look like a roadster pickup anymore, you know? It would look like a box, basically. Looks like it has plenty of headroom. Still has its streamlined appeal. I'd say Operation Roof Rack is a go. Oddly enough, great-grandpappy Roussel works solo in his shop also. It's a great family tradition. Even in the fantasy workshop of the future, there are always technicalities. All right, so I'm gonna make a square and then set it on the car and measure it. My shop is anything but an assembly line of repetition. It's kind of like free thinking, anything goes. The new and the unusual is what I'm looking for. Sign of the times, you know, I'm out of angle iron. I only found one piece in the scrapyard, so I'm short on the front. But I found this other piece that might be kind of interesting. It's got a nice rolled edge on the front. It's like when you're looking at the front, you're looking at this instead of a piece of angle iron. I'm also trying to make all the welds count too. You can see how it interacts with the rust. It looks kind of antique. If I go and sand anything, it's gonna be shiny. Now let's stick it on that car and see what happens. I like how that visor comes off. Front of it's cool. Back in the day, when you had to get it done, you used what you had. Is this a truck or is it a station wagon now? Let me clean my ears a little bit. Think this through. This is one of the problems with winging it. You know, you veer off the straight path, you make a couple decisions, and then you gotta recover from it. Typical stuff around here. I mean, I like it, but I wanna really like it. I had a few ideas about enhancing this roof rack, and I was itching to see how they looked. I got this rack in order, and I felt like it just needed more. Just this, it seemed like, you know, what is it gonna be, like a woody wagon? So I went ahead and added this top element to it, stuck them on to appear as if the pillars were coming through, and then this round rod hoop around the top. I think it finishes it off, you know, it really looks like a material rack and not just kind of some abbreviated shape of a body. What I find best with most of my process is just winging it. Go in with one hard idea and let it develop, you know, kind of organically. It's like, look at it and adjust as necessary. Now it's starting to get a little flavor, you know? Starting to feel a little more like a work truck. So typically, like with a work truck, you know, you got a roof over your head. And you know, I'm thinking about the sunlight too. I think I want to make some kind of shade canopy over the cab portion of this. You know, it's got to look period correct, right? So it wouldn't be anything fancy. And you could just put a piece of plywood up there, but was plywood really around in the 40s? I don't know. I was like, oh, well, tarp would have been around, like covered wagon kind of material. This looks like it's been laying around the farm a bit. Do a little Honest Ian's custom upholstery on this jobber. You know, this is definitely a first, doing the old covered wagon. It's a sewing table. It's a chassis jig. It's a layout zone. It does all the things. I like that stain. It's like it's had some use in its life. It's had some stories behind it. You punch a hole in the material, you put the bottom of the grommet in, put the top piece on, and whack it into place. And voila, instant covered wagon material. Got my cape. Let's see if this thing flies. Now, this movie prop is period correct. It's as if it was built back in the day. But hey, don't get carried away. This is my fantasy. Back in the day, I had a cordless drill. Nice and taut. It's like old Pappy Roussel took his covered wagon skills and transferred them right over to his work truck. I think he'd say it was custom yet affordable. Been thinking of like accessories to, dress this thing with that would be sort of period correct, and this property is super old. It was here since 1940, and all the old man's tools were here on the property also. So there's one thing in particular that I just could never part with. The interesting thing about this property was it was truly an estate sale. They never got rid of anything, and it all came in the package. This is one of the artifacts that came with the ranch. Look at those wagon wheels, super cool. It's the old man's welder, and it looks very authentically old. This in the back of that truck would be like, oh, it's an old antique welding truck, right? Just stick it on the car and see if it looks right. It's like Ben-Hur and his chariot up in here. It's pretty crusty. Starting to look older already. That's the thing, like with a movie prop, anything goes. It's only the limits of your imagination. Now it's really starting to have a personality, Old Grandpappy Roussel, he was a welder, a craftsman. I mean, what do you think? He was a pro tennis player? I'm gonna work on this a little bit, get it to fit in there. Let's think about like how to enhance this, what accessories, what really sells it as an antique welding truck. This welder was exactly the spark it needed. It's almost ready for its time on the silver screen. Even though I'm building this for Steven's movie project, I want to be able to use this later also. Got me thinking about that piece that I unbolted from the back of the welder. If I was a scavenger, I wouldn't need a tubing bender. I would just use this thing that was on the back of the welder. So that's half of the equation. This will do the seat back, but I also want some bends for the seat base. I got this old hand truck, and I'd say there's 2 good bends on there. Oh man, we got steering wheels. Definitely not the right era. This is a keeper though. I think this is a perfect lesson for up-and-coming fabricators. It's like, hey, if you don't have a tubing bender, grab a piece of bent tubing. Start that way. You got the front of the seat, and you got the top of the seat. Now you got to fill in all the parts between. Creating something from used parts has its own set of challenges, of course. If I was working with fresh stock, I'd be able to lay out something, dimensionally make it all nice and tight, 4 bends out of 1 piece. So this is kind of the opposite. You got to make things from the small bits of material you can scavenge. My whole concept here is, the edges of the seat that you see will have these nice radius bends. I'll miter the attachment corners under the seat where you won't even see it, it'll be our little secret. I gotta say it's a natural fit. I love the way that this fits the original seat base, and then this just looks good, it works. To figure out the angle of the seat back, I'll tack it together in the car, gusset it, and then pull it back out and finish weld it. This material isn't super strong, so being that it's a backrest, could have a lot of leverage on it potentially, so by grabbing it like that, it really structures it. That'll work. The metal seat frame is only half the puzzle. Great Grandpappy's a man of supreme luxury. Lastly, I'm gonna put a cross brace of steel rod in there. All right, so I had a little structural webbing in there. Plenty of room, plenty of headspace. I just need something over here. You could always just put a Model A steering wheel on it, but if you were gonna be a customizer, wouldn't you be looking around for that unique thing? I was looking at these steering wheels that were out there, and I'm like, yeah, a little too modern. And right next to it was this tricycle. Look at this thing. I don't think this is seriously vintage, but it looks like it's vintage. Tell me it's not a full custom steering wheel. These weird ideas of mine don't always work, but you never know till you try. Off with the wheel. Nothing says class like using a tricycle on your Model A Roadster pickup. Once again, I'm truly making my 7-year-old self proud. If I could only see me now. I think a little spacer and a little steering wheel. Got some sitting, we got some steering. I don't know if Pappy was into tricycles, but if he was, I know he'd be proud. I've never had a tricycle wheel steering, so this is a first. This is a momentous occasion. Sometimes you take a detour to get to where you need to go. Piece by piece, I don't really know what this thing's gonna look like in the end. I'm just picking at it. All of a sudden, it's a work truck, right? It's a welder's truck. I hid the modern engine with the hood, but still looking in there, you know that that's a nice brand new aluminum radiator. So I want to put some kind of a grill screen in front of it, and I came up with two options. Yeah, we got these two cool screens. One was the front screen door of the house, and one was the rear. They look very similar, but I think this one's steel and this one's aluminum. That's kind of fancy. Try a little rust. That works. Put a little bit of a puff in it as I welded it too, the heat. Just a little something that adds a shroud of mystery to what's going on beneath. That's what I was going for. It's old-fashioned, but looks cool. Tornado came through Oklahoma, tore the screen door off, repurposed it. In the years past when I was working on this car, a couple of things I built custom on this were the windshield pillars, the A-pillars, and the actual windshield frame. So I made this nice arch that fits the cowl. And you can see it fits in here pretty darn close, but putting this roof rack on, it's too tall now. Nothing a little slice and dice can't fix. Let's make sure we keep the front the front. Little nonsense now and then. Front. There's something to be said for phonetics, right? Spell it like you say it. Front to shut door. Usually what I do is set up the template for the glass first. So I got some acrylic. I'm just gonna put the acrylic in place, finish everything up, and then last I'll have the glass cut. One of the problems with using this tubing is it's just a flat surface on both sides. We want this glass to ultimately seem like it's flush mounted in there, so we're gonna have to do a little cutting into this tube shape. Do a little sanding, a little finishing. I think that's really coming together. Even though this is an acrylic mock-up, it really adds to the finishing of it where you're not just looking through an empty space. This is the actual windshield to come. Seat looks good, interior's coming together. Love the grille and the windshield fits. Today was a good day. Before you think I've gone completely off the deep end, panning for gold in the desert, give me a chance. I picked up one of these. It's a texture gun, like you spray textured walls with. And I was thinking, why don't I just texture the car with sand? Make it look like it's been all dustified. Drywall, dirt, it's all the same in the end, right? I guess we'll see. I gotta say, some people might do a test piece. Not me. I'm just going for it. I'm thinking that this process is gonna be similar to spraying metal flake, in a paint job. So you have this solid material and you wanna broadcast it evenly over the surface. I gotta keep mixing it up in there to get it to flow evenly. I don't want any blotches. That's the thing about winging it. You gotta pay attention. You gotta adapt as the process unfolds. Yeah, look, now it's just about at the right ratio. If only great-grandpappy could see me now, he'd say, son, you done lost your mind. So this is what a car would look like, I think, if it drove here from Oklahoma through the desert. The stippling of the water, hitting the sand, and actually gluing it to the car. But you see it mellowed out the chrome on the rims. That works. The tires look like they've been scrubbing through the desert for years. I like it. A few more details to put together, and it's ready to show to Steven. I haven't talked to Steven since the day I left his shop, and I'm kind of curious as to what he's gonna have to say about this.
What do we have here?
It's a little bit of everything, but it's basically a Model A. Just parts I had laying around.
Like they would do back in the day if they're building something on a farm. That's what it should be, is pieces of everything. Looks great. I like the stitches, the welds on it.
I was thinking if this character was a craftsman, he was more like a metal worker, like a welder, so I just left everything showing.
Which is perfect. I love the wheel wells, the fenders with that spare tire piece in there. Taillights look good on here, the way they said. Model T. Whatever's laying around. The nail, even the canvas on the roof up there. It's gonna work.
I think Steven treated this project with me much like I treat a project with the other people I collaborate with, you know? Tell them just enough so that they can work forward on something, but not so much where you're gonna dictate the end result. Check out the steering wheel. You know your funky junk. Name that part. Where'd that come from?
This came off an old tricycle.
Bang! He knows the unit.
But you also dared and put it on there. Great steering wheel.
The more time he spends looking it over, you know, I see his head nodding and he's like, yeah, this is like real steel. This is not a fake movie prop. It's an actual Ford vehicle. Does it run? But the good news is everything underneath is modern. It's got a Chevy 350. Drivetrain is brand new.
It's just perfect. So if we were shooting out here, you could see how perfect it fits for the look. Just
this is Wild West, man. What more do you want than a jalopy out west, right? And nothing sells a car like the test drive. You ready?
Sure.
Hop in. It's all you.
All right. Now that's a positive.
I really wanted Steven to just get in there while the engine was cold, start it and drive it, because like this is what you're gonna get on a cold start and how it runs.
So this is about the speed we'll be going.
Looks good, man.
20 times.
Right.
Through the shot.
I mean, that's the whole thing. A car sitting in the garage is one thing, but when it's out in the desert, on the movie set, as he's kind of envisioning it, I think that seals the deal.
Feels great.
My favorite thing about it, like with so much, is the stance. It's like, it looks kind of like a jalopy, but it's got a cool line. It's a little bit chopped, it's a little bit raked. I love the front grille specifically, that mesh. The Model T taillights on the back, they're a little funky. And then the roof rack, that's my favorite thing. It's got a good look.
And then back to one.
This project is unique in that it had an end goal. I don't know, maybe I'll start with a cartoon character for real next time and then build a car towards that. I can see the smile from a mile away right now. It's a cool car to drive.
Man.
How's it treating you?
Perfect. Perfect picture car.
Nice. Excellent. Well, I learned from the best, man. I did exactly what you told me.
Come on. No, it's great because it goes forward, it goes reverse, it turns, it stops, it doesn't overheat, especially when you only have one. We don't have a backup. This is it.
That's the story of my life, man. I got no other plan B.
You actually look so good in that thing.
I love it, man. I feel like an Okie from Muskogee.
Yeah.
Heading out west.
Great job, great job. You made my job a lot easier.
With every project, that's always what I'm looking for. Thanks, you done good. To pin that for him on this project, I feel good. Have fun out there in TV land.
Man.
You could drive it home. I don't need it anymore.
No, I don't like using my movie miles on the street.
Gotcha.
We'll put it on a hauler.
Yeah, it's always on borrowed time, right?
That's right.
Another project checked off the list. You know, I did not see this one coming, but it ended up really good. I got so many ideas I've been ruminating on. It's nice to get this project out of the way. Next project's gonna be pretty wild. I can't wait to get started.